Did you know that you can settle in the UK on the basis of two visa categories which is related to your child? One is 7-year child route, one is 5-year child route. But if you want to know eligibility criteria, list of documents needed, common visa rejections, and also the cost related to it, make sure you watch the video till the end as I have invited a special guest who's going to do the full discussion on this topic. But before we start, if you want to study in any of the listed countries here, make sure you fill the form from the link provided in my video description and pin comment so that my team can help you out. So without any further delay, let me introduce you guys to Yash. Hi Yash, welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy once again.
Hi, Sarika. Thank you for inviting.
So Yash, if you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself once again to my audience?
Absolutely. So my name is Yash Dubal. I'm Managing Director at AY Solicitors. AY Solicitors is a multi-award-winning Legal 500 specialized immigration law firm based in London. We served 4,000 plus clients, 15 plus years experience, had 1,200 plus reviews on Google and Trustpilot. And yeah, we are specialized just in UK immigration.
So, Yash, today I've invited you to discuss important topic, which is about the 7-year child rule in the UK. So I've not covered this before on my channel, and some of my audience is already inquiring about it. So I thought you are the best person to come and talk about it. So do you mind explaining what is this 7-year child rule in the UK?
Absolutely. It's very straightforward. A child who was, let's say, born in the UK and lived in the UK for continuous 7 years, they can straight away qualify for settlement, i.e. permanent residency, indefinite leave to remain. And that is covered by Appendix private life application. It used to be like 7 years child route, and it's quite famous, very well known, very popular keyword, 7 years route to settlement. It was previously covered under Immigration Rule 276 ADE, but in June 2022, the rules changed. It is now covered by Appendix private life application.
So Yash, is there any different 5-year child route as well, or is it the same thing, 7-year?
Yeah, it's quite confusing. So for the benefit of your audience, Sarika, someone who was not born in the UK, let's say, but lived in the UK for continuous 7 years, they don't qualify straight away for settlement. They get 5 years of leave to remain, which is a visa to stay in the UK for continuous 5 years under, again, Appendix private life. And then under that once they finish that 5 years in the UK, then they get permanent residency. But if the child is born in the UK, then spend 7 years in the UK, they straight away qualify for permanent residency. So that's the difference. So let's say, again, just to repeat one more time, child not born in the UK, but lived in the UK for 7 years, they get 5 years of visa. They don't get settlement straight away. Once they finish these 5 years, then they get permanent residency. Okay. So that's kind of confusion, but I hope that's more clearer now.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So basically, for them to live here 7 years plus additional 5 years of visa they get. So 11 year only, they will be eligible for their ILR, 12 years basically.
Yeah. So yeah, there is another way of looking at it. So they were not born in the UK, but lived in the UK for continuous 7 years.
Yeah.
They get 5 years of leave to remain. But bear in mind, if they finish 10 years of continuous lawful residence, they then can qualify under 10 years roof of settlement. So they don't need to spend 12 years total.
Okay.
And they can straight away, in 3 years down the line of their private life leave to remain, they can then qualify for 10 years route to settlement.
Okay, so both parents and the child can apply for their ILR, permanent settlement, within 10 years if they manage to finish 10 years.
Yes, so anyone can qualify for permanent residency as long as they have completed 10 years of continuous lawful residence. So it can be child, it can be adult, but 10 years of continuous lawful residence. That's the requirement.
So Yash, coming back to the 7-year child rule, what is the official name of this rule? Or is there any different visa category for this rule?
So the application called Appendix Private Life, that's the name of the application. That's the legal name, Appendix Private Life Application. It's online application form, and that is it. That's the real legal name of the application.
If someone is applying for 7-year child rule, what kind of documents do they need to apply?
Sure. So child born in the UK, of course, full birth certificate. That's very, very much important. Again, child not born in the UK, birth certificate, we need the birth certificate. But born in the UK, birth certificate for sure. And the proof that they've lived in the UK for, let's say, continuous 7 years. I.e. that might include letter from school, letter from GP, doctors, that they've lived, letters from family, friends. But I think letter from school is very important because child would have been studying in the UK, and any evidence that they can provide to prove that they've lived in the UK for 7 years.
And once they apply, they get straight ILR for people who are born here, for a child born here in the UK for 7 years, or do they get additional years of visas to stay here?
No, so if someone born in the UK and have spent 7 years continuously in the UK, they straight away get settlement.
Both the child and the parent together?
No, so the parent doesn't get settlement same time as child. The child gets the settlement first. And based on the child's settled status, parents, depending on what's their visa is, they can apply as a dependent of the child. And then they can get onto a route to settlement in 10 years' time. So they don't get straight away settlement. No, they get visa to stay. It's called leave to remain. A legal status to stay in the UK, and they can then qualify for settlement in 10 years route to settlement. Yes, it's still better than no visa. They get some sort of legal stay. If someone does not have a legal status in the UK and have a child born in the UK, stayed 7 years, they can, they should explore this option.
So I have mixed crowd. There are people or couple who got child here, child born in the UK, but there are few people as well whose children were born, say, in India, and they moved to the UK on different visa categories. And hence the question was, what is the 5-year child rule versus the 7-year child rule? Okay, so do you think there can be any rejection based on the documents which you have already submitted? Have you seen any kind of rejection by the Home Office, or what are the common reason of rejections have you seen so far?
I mean, this 7 years child route, 7 years continuous lawful and appendix private life, highly unlikely to be refused unless there is some sort of criminality. It's highly unlikely for children, but look, if there is any criminality issue, the application could get refused. And the other one is like if you don't pay appropriate fees or if you don't complete the form accurately or properly, then there is a chance of refusal. Otherwise, I can't see any other reason of refusal for this application.
So the other question which I generally get from my audience is about the child benefit. Few of the parents who are here and they are claiming the child benefit from the government. Say they are on, dependent visa or skill visa or carer visa or any other visa category they are. Are they entitled for any child benefit?
Right. So the child benefit, like public funds, they don't have access to public funds straight away under this category. However, if they are destitute and if they have real struggle, then they can make a separate application to qualify for benefit.
But directly, they don't have access to public funds because they are on some kind of visa category in the UK.
That's right.
Any example can you share of visa rejection for 5-year child rule other than what you explained for 7-year child route?
No, it's very standard. It's very simple. Like child not born in the UK, but stayed in the UK for 7 years. They will go on to the 5 years route of leave to remain, which is a visa under appendix private life, and then they go on to the permanent residency after 5 years. But there is no other complexity or special example, Sarika.
So from your memory, do you know how much people have to pay for the visa thing if they have either 7-year or 5-year? Is it the same kind of application fee or is it different?
So the ILR application is £2,885. So that's the fees of the permanent residency ILR application, £2,885 at the time of publication of this video, because the government fees is subject to change. And the leave to remain, that 5 years application, is like £1,048. That's the application fees. And then, of course, you pay IHS, which is Immigration Health Surcharge.
Okay, so I think I have kind of collected almost all the information which I needed based on the comments I have seen from my audience and people who asked me during my one-to-one consultation. For anyone who's applying through this route, do you have any final piece of advice for them?
My final piece of advice is for those who are not on, let's say, skilled worker visa, but I think the people who are on a different kind of visa category here and there, maybe youth mobility or probably student visa, and they switch to graduate visa, then they switch back again to a different visa category. But they have a child, like young child, probably either not born in the UK or born in the UK. They should explore this option. That's my final piece of advice. It's really nice route where, for an example, if the child gets some sort of visa, either leave to remain or permanent residency, then the parents can get a visa based on that. So they don't need to worry about their visa. You see, people do struggle a lot. Let's say if they lose the sponsor license or they lose their skilled worker visa and they have, oh my God, what do I do now? Right? But they have a child. fortunately. And if they fit into this category, they should explore this option, because then they will not be bound by any sponsorship. It becomes kind of independent visa category, and it will offer them much more flexibility to work and do whatever they like to do.
That's right. Yeah, they don't require sponsorship, then they are free to work with any employer.
Exactly. They should explore this option. That's my piece of advice.
That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Yash. That was today's topic. I hope to bring you back again with a new topic. And thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys got any question for Yash, make sure you leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.